Good morning, everybody. So happy to have you here with us today for our workshop watch party. I hope you guys all had a great weekend, and welcome to today's workshop yet again. This week's topic, let me move on. Uh-oh, of course I'm frozen. There we go. So, again, welcome everyone. This week's topic for workshop is intimate relationships. We would like for you all to join us by clicking on the video with the blinking purple border on our page. So if you are watching the video with no blinking border, please join us above or below for the watch party. Again, I want to thank you all for participating, whether it is during workshop time from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Tuesday, and 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Thursday, or whether you watch the video and comment in the discussions at a later time. You are all great and appreciated. Also, please join us for the discussion afterwards. It's a good time for us to get social and for you to tell us your thoughts and opinions about the workshops. And remember, guys, please like our video after watching it. Now let's get started with a review of last week's workshop. One second, my PowerPoint is moving a little slow today. Okay, this is not gonna work. So sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. You know me and the technical difficulties, they're usually rampant. Perfect. Okay, let's go back. There, we're going to use this one instead. That's better. Okay, so last week's workshop, okay? Let's start reviewing that. So, last week's topic on Tuesday was interpersonal relationships, okay? So, my question to you all this morning is, what are the different types of interpersonal relationships? You have 2 minutes, starting now. All right, guys. Very good. Very good. I'll go through the list of them all for any that were missed. Okay? So just a reminder, there are many different types of interpersonal relationships. There are intimate relationships, lovers, significant others, spouses, family relationships. There's friendships, enemies or frenemies, neighbors, business relationships, which include partnerships, employer and employee, contractor, customer, landlord and tenant relationships, and official relationships like Justin Trudeau or Donald Trump there. Okay? Very good job, you guys. Very good job. Now I got one more question for you guys today before we move into our topic for today. I just wanted to review Thursday's discussion topic as well because it went so well and you guys participated in it and just did excellent. So I just wanted to touch base on that again today. So my question to you guys is, what did we talk about on Thursday? Okay, you have 2 minutes starting now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic, everybody. You are all right. We discussed support circles and who we had in each circle for our supports personally. The middle circle stands for intimate relationships and can include people who we confide in, share secrets and emotions with. The second circle, going out from there, stands for friendships and can include friends and relatives that we see regularly. The third circle, moving out from there, stands for participation relationships and can include people or organizations you participate with in life, such as school, clubs, and work. And the final and outermost circle stands for exchange relationships and can include people paid to be in our lives, such as teachers, social workers, doctors, and even hairdressers, guys. Isn't that crazy? It's pretty cool. Now let's begin our topic for today. What is an intimate relationship? An intimate relationship, let me move that out of the way, is an interpersonal relationship that involves physical and or emotional intimacy. Physical intimacy is characterized by friendship, platonic love, romantic love, or sexual activity. While the term intimate relationship commonly means the inclusion of a sexual relationship, the term is also used as another word for a relationship that is strictly sexual. Intimate relationships play a central role in the overall human experience. Humans have a general desire to belong and to love, which is usually satisfied within an intimate relationship. These relationships involve feelings of liking or loving one or more people. Romance, physical or sexual attraction, sexual relationships, or emotional and personal support between the members. Intimate relationships allow a social network for people to form strong emotional attachments. So let's break this down a little bit more. What is intimacy? Intimacy generally refers to the feeling of being in a close personal relationship and belonging together. It is a familiar and very close affective connection with another as a result of a bond that is formed through knowledge and experience of the other. Genuine intimacy in human relationships requires dialogue, transparency, vulnerability, and reciprocity. The verb intimate means to state or make known. The activity of intimating, making known, underpins the meanings of intimate when used as a noun and adjective. The noun intimate means a person with whom one has a particularly close relationship. This was clarified by Dalton, 1959, who discusses how anthropologists and ethnographic researchers access inside information from within a particular cultural setting by creating networks of intimates capable and willing to provide information unobtainable through formal channels. The adjective intimate indicates detailed knowledge of a thing or a person. What is intimacy? Part 2. In human relationships, the meaning and level of intimacy is different within and between relationships. In anthropological research, which is the study of humankind, intimacy is considered the product of a successful seduction, a process of connection building that enables peoples to confidently reveal previously hidden thoughts and feelings. Intimate conversations become the basis for confidences, which is secret knowledge, that bind people together. To sustain intimacy for any length of time requires well-developed emotional and interpersonal awareness. Intimacy requires an ability to be both separate and together participants in an intimate relationship. Murray Bowen called this self-differentiation. It results in a connection in which there is an emotional range involving both strong conflict and intense loyalty. Lacking the ability to differentiate oneself from the other is a form of symbiosis, a state that is different from intimacy, even if feelings of closeness are similar. What is intimacy? Part 3. From a center of self-knowledge and self-differentiation, intimate behavior joins family members and close friends as well as those in love. It evolves through equal self-disclosure and honesty. Poor skills in developing intimacy can lead to getting too close too quickly. Struggling to find the boundary and to sustain connection, being poorly skilled as a friend, rejecting self-disclosure, or even rejecting friendships and those who have them. Psychological consequences of intimacy problems are found in adults who have difficulty in forming and maintaining intimate relationships. Individuals often experience the human limitations of their partners and develop a fear of adverse consequences of disrupted intimate relationships. Studies show that fear of intimacy is negatively related to comfort with emotional closeness and with relationship satisfaction, and positively related to loneliness and trait anxiety. So, now, there are times when some people are not comfortable with being intimate. And when that happens, there are a couple of things we should remember. Let's watch this video to get a little more information about that. I'm going to just shrink this.
Nowadays, we're pretty tough on people who have a certain kind of fear. People who are afraid of getting close.
Sorry, I'll start that over as quiet.
Nowadays, we're pretty tough on people who have a certain kind of fear. People who are afraid of getting close. People who need to sit alone for quite a long time every day. People who don't always find it easy to say what's on their minds. People who need their space. We say these sort of people have got a fear of intimacy, and that's not a good thing to have. It can get you in trouble. But criticising the fear of intimacy doesn't seem right or very productive at all. We'd be far better off with a different approach. For a start, if someone is scared of something, it's never a great idea just to say they're silly and there's nothing to be worried about. It's a lot more effective to say, we're a bit scared too, and that it's actually normal to worry. Then it is a good idea to try to understand the fear. Where has it come from? There's almost always a history to someone who is afraid of intimacy. A history where getting close to other people got them hurt, so that closeness has become a problem. We should also take on board just how much of life is about not being intimate. From an early age, we're taught we need to be strong, independent, and brave. We need to hide our emotions, not say how we're feeling, bottle up what's going on inside. It is no wonder we sometimes find it hard to change gear and become masters at the art of intimacy. It's not surprising if we should get a bit stuck and not quite know what to do with the request to say exactly how we feel. We've been out in the world too long. We're battle-hardened and just not used to it. We might need a little time. So let's go easy on those with a fear of intimacy. They're not bad people. They just find a difficult thing tricky, and we should be on hand to help them with gentleness and understanding.
Oh, awesome. Okay, guys, let's get back into it.
It was about the third week into Kathy's weight loss battle where things really started to go downhill.
Sorry, see ya, Kathy. All right. Continuing on, guys. Now let's break down the different types of intimacy, okay? So, scholars distinguish between 4 different forms of intimacy. Physical intimacy is sensual closeness or touching. Examples include being inside someone's personal space, holding hands, hugging, kissing, petting, or other sexual activity. Emotional intimacy, particularly in sexual relationships, typically develops after a certain level of trust has been reached and personal bonds have been established. The emotional connection of falling in love, however, has both a biochemical aspect driven through reactions in the body stimulated by sexual attraction, and a social aspect driven by talk that follows from regular physical closeness or sexual union. Okay. Cognitive or intellectual intimacy takes place when 2 people exchange thoughts, share ideas, and enjoy similarities and differences between their opinions. If they can do this in an open and comfortable way, they can become quite intimate in an intellectual area. Experiential intimacy is when two people get together to actively involve themselves in each other, probably saying very little to each other, not sharing any thoughts or many feelings, but being involved in mutual activities with one another. Imagine observing two house painters whose brushstrokes seem to be playing out a duet on the side of a house. They may be shocked to think that they were engaged in an intimate activity with each other. However, from an experiential point of view, they would be very intimately involved. Distinguishing intimate, common, which relationships from strategic give and take relationships may also be a factor. Physical intimacy usually occurs later on, but it is ruled by a higher order strategy of which the other person may not be aware. One example is getting close to someone in order to get something from them or give them something. That something might not be offered so freely if it did not appear to be an intimate exchange, and if the I lost my place. 1 second, guys. There's a lot of words. And if the ultimate strategy had been visible at the beginning. Mills and Clark, 1982, found that strategic give and take relationships are fragile and easily break down when there is any level of disagreement. Emotionally intimate, common relationships are much more robust and can survive considerable and even ongoing disagreements. Makes a strong relationship is what they're saying for sure. So before I move on, guys, it is question time. So I have a quick question for you all, okay? How many of you guys know what love is? You have 2 minutes starting now. Okay, guys, great job. We all know what love is in our own ways. But there are many definitions for what love is too. What is love? Strong affection for another arising out of kinship or personal ties, maternal love for a child. Attraction based on sexual desire, affection, and tenderness felt by lovers. After all these years, they still are very much in love. And then 3, Affection based on admiration, benevolence, or common interest love for his old schoolmates. An assurance of affection, give her my love. Okay? So there's a couple of definitions in the dictionary for what love is. Love is physical and emotional intimacy. Love is an important factor in physical and emotional intimate relationships. Love is qualitatively and quantitatively different from liking, and the difference is not merely in the presence or absence of sexual attraction. There are 3 types of love in a relationship: passionate love, compassionate love, and sacrificial love. Sacrificial love reflects the assumption of the individual's self. Sorry, let me repeat that sentence. Sacrificial love reflects the assumption of the individual's self will within a union and is said to be expressed within the Christian Godhead and towards humanity. Compassionate love involves weakened, strong feelings of attachment, an authentic and enduring bond, a sense of mutual commitment, the profound feeling of mutual caring, feeling proud of a partner's accomplishment, and the satisfaction that comes from sharing goals and perspective. In contrast, passionate love is marked by infatuation, intense concern with the partner, throes of ecstasy, and feelings of exhilaration that come from being reunited with the partner. 2 people who are in an intimate relationship with one another are often called a couple, especially if the members of that couple have placed some degree of permanency to their relationship. These couples often provide the emotional security that is necessary for them to accomplish other tasks, particularly forms of labor or work. Intimate Relationship Studies, Part 1. Today, the study of intimate relationships uses people from diverse groups and examines a wide variety of topics that include family relations, friendships, and romantic relationships, usually over a long period of time. Current studies include both positive and negative or unpleasant aspects of relationships. Research being conducted by John Gottman, 2010, and his colleagues involves inviting married couples into a pleasant setting, in which they revisit the disagreement that caused their last argument. Although the participants are aware that they are being videotaped, they soon become so absorbed in their own interaction that they forget they are being recorded. With the second-by-second analysis of observable reactions as well as emotional ones, Gottman is able to predict with 93% accuracy the fate of the couple's relationship. All right, let's talk about part 2 of these studies that were discussed. Another current area of research into intimate relationships is conducted by Terry Orbuch and Joseph Veroff, 2002. They monitor newlywed couples using self-reports over a long period, a longitudinal study. Participants are required to provide extensive reports about the natures and the statuses of their relationships. Although many of the marriages have ended since the beginning of the study, this type of relationship study allowed researchers to track marriages from start to finish by conducting follow-up interviews with the participants in order to determine which factors are associated with marriages that last and which with those that do not. Though the field of relationship science is still relatively young, research conducted by researchers from different disciplines continues to broaden the field. Evidence also points to the role of a number of related factors that can impact intimate relationships. In a recent study on the impact of Hurricane Katrina on marital and partner relationships, Researchers found that while many reported negative changes in their relationships, a number also experienced positive changes. More specifically, the advent of Hurricane Katrina led to a number of environmental stressors. For example, unemployment or extended separation that negatively impacted intimate relationships for many couples, though other couples' relationships grew stronger as a result of new employment opportunities, a greater sense of perspective, and higher levels of communication and support. As a result, environmental factors are also understood to contribute heavily to the strength of intimate relationships. Pretty interesting, hey? Well, guys, with that said, it's a short one today, so we're going to have quite a bit of a discussion afterwards. So, not too much information, but I just wanted to touch base on intimate relationships today. So, with that said, everybody, please join us afterward. Join us on Thursday, for our next workshop, okay? Thank you for joining us today here for our workshop. We are always happy to have you all participating with us every week. Please join us for the discussion afterwards, which will happen right after this. Also, please join us for the next workshop on Thursday from 11 to 12 p.m. I also want to remind you all to like our videos after you have watched them. This is the best proof we have of you all having watched the videos we post, if you aren't joining us during the watch party. For those of you who made previous arrangements with your staff about letting us know when you have watched the workshops, please continue to do what is planned for you specifically. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day and a great long weekend.